Fucking yoga hosers.
The very definition of suck.
Honestly, don't even know what to fucking say right now. I guess before I start this review, I should say a couple things about the main man, Kevin Smith. My homeboy, my god, my G. That's so dumb, I'm sorry. Kevin Smith, I actually believe is a really good director. I'm a really big fan of him. Well, he's a really good writer. He's a serviceable director, but I'm a really big fan of his either way. He does some phenomenal stuff. He's made some great movies. Dogma's fucking amazing. It's in my top 10. Honestly, there's not much bad I can say about the dude. He's a huge inspiration to a lot of people like me and wannabe future filmmakers and writers. He showed a lot of people that you can do it and you don't have to know somebody too necessarily. I know that sounds a little dumb, and obviously Hollywood and show business has changed a lot since he broke in, so doing what he did might not be very easy nowadays. But he showed that you can do it, and he's a great speaker, and he's a really motivational person, and I really have a lot of respect for him. Sadly, with that said, this movie's total fucking garbage. I really can't say it much calmer than that. I can't lie to you about it. I feel really remorseful, like somebody just died. This movie is really fucking terrible. I don't know how else to explain it. So I guess before I jump into that, let me tell you a little bit about what Yoga Hosers is. So Yoga Hosers is the second installment of Kevin Smith's True North trilogy. The True North trilogy starts with Tusk. The second film is Yoga Hosers, and then the third film is gonna be Moose Jaws. Moose, which I'm fucking super stoked for. Moose Jaws is essentially Jaws, but it's gonna be recut and reshot entirely with a moose, and in Canada, and lots of maple syrup. So I'm pretty fucking excited for that. I'm not gonna lie, that'll be a funny movie. But that's not what we're reviewing today. It isn't even made yet. We are reviewing Yoga Hosers. If you don't know what it is, essentially it's the Colleens from Tusk, which is Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter, and Harley Quinn Smith, Kevin Smith's daughter, which they play two store clerks at E to Z, or A to Z, however you want to pronounce it, which is basically a quickie mart. And while they're there, they are yoga enthusiasts, I guess, and they encounter some Bratzies and decide to use yoga against them to kill them. It's that fucking stupid of a plot. So before I kind of shit on this movie too much, I should go into a couple positives, which there are positives. One is, I think Lily Rose Depp and I think Harley Quinn Smith were both very serviceable actors. Or actresses. I thought they were both very good. Not amazing, but they were good, and I didn't necessarily feel like this was just a movie so they could put their kids in it, even though it kind of was, and they even kind of explained that. I thought their performances were really solid. Other than their performances, there are a lot of cameos that are fucking hilarious. Haley Joel Osment plays a Canadian Nazi, which is fucking amazing, and I'm sorry if I spoiled that for you, because that's a really good reveal. Second, there is... Second cameo? Justin Long. And then third one, what's his name? Rob Gorman? Ralph Gorman. Ralph Garman. The second great cameo is Justin Long, who plays the yoga instructor, Yogi Berra, which is quite funny.
Destroy everything that threatens anyone or anything that you love. That's the yoga way.
Or is it Yogi Bear? I think it's Yogi Bear. The third is Ralph Garman, who plays the main antagonist at the end of the film. I'm not really gonna spoil what he is or what he does, but he's fucking solid in it. I know he does some Kevin Smith podcasts as well. He's fucking hilarious though. Dude's great in it. Also, you get a couple really, really small contained cameos, and what I mean by that is Stan Lee gets a really funny cameo.
Damn yoga hosers.
And some other people, an actor from Arrested Development, which I don't know his name, and I'm not even gonna explain which character from Arrested Development. Instead, I'm gonna allow my editor to put his name right here in yellow 36 size font. We're gonna go with that, okay? And then the other one is one of the actresses from American Pie, which I do not know her name either, so the editor will be putting her name down here in yellow 36 size font. Thank you, editor, I fucking hate you. Those are really all the big cameos in the film. Really, that's kind of where all the positives end. There's a couple more things. One, some of the dialogue's really good. That's usually what you're gonna get with Kevin Smith films. There's one line in particular where a character is revealed to be a Satanist, and they go on explaining, oh, but you know, I'm a Canadian Satanist, so it's different, it's a little better. And they go on explaining why Canadian Satanists are different than, you know, a fucking American Satanist. So there's some really funny lines in this movie like that as well. But still, there's some issues. And I mean, what I mean by that is, for every joke that hits really hard, there's another 3 jokes that fall completely flat. For every piece of great dialogue. There's a piece of really shitty dialogue where it feels like Kevin Smith is trying to write for a 17-year-old girl rather than a 17-year-old girl just speaking. So finally, what I want to say is Kevin Smith made it clear that this movie is the product of somebody who was incredibly high on marijuana while writing it. He literally kind of used that as an excuse. You got to realize I was really high while writing this movie.
I'm a massive stoner, huge weed smoker.
I got a little secret. It might not be easy to tell, but I've smoked weed before. I know, what a fucking shocker, right? I've smoked weed before, and I've written scripts while being high on marijuana before, and not once did I ever get the urge to write about bratwurst Nazis. Now, sure, you'll get some weird shit every now and then, I guess, but you never get that weird.
Shut up!
I think this movie is really more of a product of Kevin Smith's psyche than it is his addiction to marijuana, and I guess I'm gonna leave it at that. So ultimately, if I'm gonna rate this movie, I really can't give it a high rating. I can hardly give it a 1 flush, but I have to give it a little more because there is some good things in there. Like I said, Kevin Smith has really good writing and there's some positives, but ultimately, I can't give it past like 1.2. Maybe I'll even lean to like a 1.5 flushes out of 5. But really, this movie's kind of shitty. There are certain people that will like this movie though. I do need to say that. People who are weird and like weird fucking movies and want to see something that's completely unique that they will never see again, watch this fucking movie. Other than that, I kind of recommend you stay the fuck away from it. And that was our review for Yoga Hosers. I really hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that I had to shit on it. I really recommend you don't fucking see this movie. But if you do, all props to you. I really want to see Moose Jaws, so let's make a little money for this movie so Moose Jaws can get made. So actually, I do recommend you see this movie because fucking Moose Jaws and maple syrup in fucking Canada. And Fargo, which is in North Dakota and Minnesota, not fucking Canada. So finally, next week, we're gonna be doing our first Plunger episode. Plunger. If you don't know what the Plunger episode is, we basically plunge the shit out of our toilet and we bring up older movies and review them. So we're gonna be doing that next week, and since we're talking about the True North trilogy, or the second installment in the True North trilogy, we might as well start with the first film, which is Tusk. So we hope to see you there.